excellent choristers of Salisbury Cathedral are now going to help me demonstrate one of these flaws. I'm going to sing a little tune to Richard, the head chorister here, and he's going to sing it to another chorister and then another chorister after that, and so on down the line. When it comes back at the end, will it be the same tune, or will it be a case of Gregorian whispers? Okay, Richard? So it's already quite different after just 2 hearings. It's a different length, different pitch, and a different speed. If trained choristers like these find it difficult, imagine what it was like in Gregorian times, with only illiterate peasant children as raw material.
La 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 la. La 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 la
Another way people tried to teach the tunes was to have one choir master with a good memory waving his wrists around to indicate what direction the tune was going in. Clearly, the need to find some kind of written aid for the memory was becoming a pressing priority for the musical monks of medieval Europe. By the time the Holy Roman Emperor Charlemagne ordered his codification and revising of the Gregorian chant in around 800, a crude system of squiggles and symbols had begun to emerge, which were to be the forerunners of proper musical notation. These were called neumes. To find out exactly what a neume is, we need to visit the heart of Charlemagne's Holy Roman Empire. In the foothills of the Swiss Alps lies one of medieval Europe's greatest centres for the copying and dissemination of chants, the Abbey of St. Gallen. It was totally rebuilt in the 18th century, as you can see from this spectacular Baroque library, with its delicate and super shiny floor. Even then, though, they were aware of the amazingly precious and rare medieval manuscripts from the time of Charlemagne that were in their possession. Hi. Fantastic. This 1200-year-old book is the earliest surviving example of Christian Europe's attempts to write music down. It's also extremely fragile. Now, if you look above the Latin text here, you'll see various lines, marks, and symbols, almost like some kind of shorthand. Well, these are the neumes, and neumes are a primitive attempt to show the contour and shape of the melody you're supposed to be singing above these words. Neumes come in a huge variety. Every region of Europe, practically every monastery even, has its own particular style of neume. These St. Gallen ones here look like French acute, grave and circumflex accents. Indeed, some scholars think that's how neumes originated in the first place. Another explanation is that they are graphic representations of hand signals and gestures that a conductor might use to show singers what note to sing next. Now, looking at the neumes themselves, the ordinary single note is often represented by just a dot, like in Morse code here. If you want to sing a note that goes ah, that's one note followed by another going upwards, then you'd use this sign, which looks like a tick or a grave accent followed by an acute accent. This sign here that looks like a croquet hoop is in fact the opposite of that, a note followed by the one below it, ah. So you see, there is a sort of logic to it. But neumes have a fatal flaw. They give you the outline of the melody you're singing, but they don't tell you where you're starting from, nor how the different tunes relate to each other. Neumes are a bit like a map, which has the shape of the roads on it, but none of the road names or numbers. A map without north, south, east or west. Pretty unhelpful, really. Unless, of course, you already know the tune you're singing and you just want to jog your memory. That's what neumes are best at, reminding you of a tune you already know, not showing it you for the first time. The inadequacy of neumes was a problem for all the abbeys and cathedrals of Europe. Then, out of northern Italy, came the Big Bang, an idea that turned the humble neumes into agents of dynamic change. And this was that big idea, a thin red line. The red line acted as a fixed reference pitch for the notes to lock onto. Now you knew where your tune started and where it ended, simply by looking at where the notes were in relation to the red line. This is a hymn to St. Cecilia, the patron saint of music. And what you're looking at in this 900-year-old manuscript is the moment frozen in time where Western music took its first great leap forward. A thin red line. We don't know who thought of it first, but we do know who saw its significance and potential and put it on the musical map. His name was Guido Monaco, and legend has it he may have ended his days in this monastery of Fonte Avellana in northern Italy. Now, a modest red line may not seem all that remarkable at first glance, but it is nonetheless music's equivalent of the printing press or sliced bread. It's therefore about time we found out a bit more about the geezer who was responsible for it, Guido of Arezzo. History hasn't left us too many clues about Guido Monaco, Guido the monk, except that his reputation as an innovative singing teacher led to his being headhunted by the Bishop of Arezzo. Guido came here to work in about 1020. Thanks to his revolutionary methods, his fame spread across Christian Europe. The fact that Guido, the man who gave us musical notation, is hardly a household name can hardly be blamed on Arezzo, the handsome Tuscan university town where he lived and worked for many years. Despite the fact Arezzo has quite a few famous sons to celebrate, the poet Petrarch, the Renaissance biographer Vasari,